Hello, Trinidad and Tobago, and to our viewers around the world. This is the 2024 edition of the Trinidad and Tobago Energy Conference, broadcasting here from the Hyatt Hotel in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Shelly Dass, and I'll be taking you through the next 3 days as we check in with all of the stakeholders, the interest groups, all of the participants, many of the participants, sponsors, and exhibitors here in Port of Spain, who will be joining us and weighing in on the developments in the local energy industry and sector, as well as developments that have happened regionally and internationally. The theme of this year's conference is accelerating action. And as we've been mentioning, if you were joining us and heard any of the earlier speeches today, it has been quite an exciting year in the energy sector. We've had many positive developments. Of course, key among them, the Atlantic restructuring and the license also signed for the Dragon gas field. We've had deep water exploration blocks, production sharing contracts signed, onshore licenses awarded, and many things. Well, joining us here at the Hyatt Hotel, over 800 delegates, about from 15 different countries around the world. I think we have about 83 exhibitors, possibly more. And one of the companies that has been around for a long time, 25 years operating in the industry, is Control Technologies. And we have with us Kate Carrera. Kate, you've also been participating in the energy conference for about 10 years. First up, under the theme Accelerating Action, and given your participation record of 10 years, how do you view the theme? And how do you view where we are now and the last 10 years of being a participant in this conference?
Thanks, Shelly, for having me. So the theme Accelerating Action is quite relevant to the state of the industry at the moment. So over the 10 years that we've been part of the energy conference, we've seen the highs and the lows that have gone with the geoeconomic cycles. And it's good at this point to see the industry on an incline. And Control Technologies has played its part over the years in the industry. And in accelerating action, Control Technologies recognizes the role of technology. And being a technology solution provider, we see our part in accelerating action being sort of moving towards the digitalization of industry. So most of the industry in our region at the moment, mature industry. And a lot of the systems that are in place for those industries run on antiquated systems, for lack of a better description. And the role that we play is moving those systems, upgrading them into state-of-the-art digitalized systems that takes data and presents that data in ways that make sense for people to use.
That's the way of the future. Now, tell me a little bit more about your company and its footprint in the region. I understand you've been working in other countries, of course, outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and your company has grown and expanded over the last 25 years. So tell me about your footprint.
Right. So Control Technologies, like I mentioned, is a 25-year-old company. It's an entirely homegrown Trinidad-based company, employee-owned as well. So over the years, we've kind of had an organic growth in the industry. We started off as a sales company that's selling equipment into the industry, and then we had an organic growth into different areas. So from sales, doing installation type services, into engineering services, into electronic security, and now into that digitalization space. And as we've done that organic growth in Trinidad, we've started to recognize that the region also needs the type of services that we offer. And recognizing that need from the region, we've made expansions into Barbados, into Jamaica, and more recently into Guyana and Suriname.
And how's that been?
And it's been, quite honest, it's been slow in some of the regions because the markets, particularly on the energy side, are relatively new and apart from Guyana, smaller than the Trinidad market when you talk about Barbados and Jamaica, for example. Guyana is on the incline, but still in the, I would want to say, in the infancy stages for technology solution providers like ourselves, because at this point, a lot of the technology comes from external suppliers, whether it be from Europe or the US. So it takes some time to get into the industry in for example, the
Yes.
Guyana and Suriname markets.
Mhm.
But we want to replicate the model that we've established in Trinidad, which is that organic growth, local grown. So, as an example, in Guyana, we have a small office with a set of primary local staff that we want to develop to create an organization like we have in Trinidad that has the capacity to do the technical support services in Guyana.
hmm You know, the theme is accelerating action, and everyone this morning on all the morning panels from the major stakeholders and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, they were looking at some of the challenges. From your point of view at Control Technologies, you know, where do you see some of the challenges? Is it, for example, in the infrastructure that exists in some of the countries already? Is it with the legislation, the laws, local content? Is it the workforce? Is it financing? Where are you seeing some of the blockages or the challenges to your ability to accelerate action?
All right. So challenges vary by country. So if we take Ghana, for example, one of the challenges is their local content policy. And the policy is great for Ghana, but it presents challenges for external companies like us
Yeah.
wanting to do business in Ghana. Um, so at the end of the day, you have to work within the framework that exists in the country, recognizing what the reasons are for the framework, which are good on
Mhm.
the outset of it. Um, so it means you have to maneuver to fit in line with that framework and then take it forward. The challenges, or one of the biggest challenges that we find in the region is lack of technical capacity. So there's a process of building the technical capacity in those areas. The people exist, they
Mhm.
have the willingness, and it's just a matter of time to develop it to deliver the quality of service that we want to deliver.
What would you say? What are some of your priorities looking ahead to the, you know, short term in front of you? We have short, medium, long term. Tell me about your short term priorities.
So the short-term priorities would be to establish the presence in the markets, in the new markets. Um, Networking is a big thing in our business, from lower level straight up to the top. So developing the networks, developing the relationships, um, putting yourself, marketing yourself out there so people know what you do, and they develop some level of trust
Mhm.
that you can deliver on time, in budget, quality,
Mhm.
and safely. So that's the short term goal
And
to
medium
make a
and long.
presence known.
Yeah.
So medium and long is to now build your capacity to deliver in those markets, so that you are a recognized and established entity in the space, and that people know you, trust you, and come to you.
Mhm. All right. And looking forward into this is one of the questions on one of the panels this morning, which was, you know, always quite a striking question and gives people an idea of where your planning mechanisms are. Where do you see control technologies in 15 years from now?
Oh, in 15 years from now, we will be a major player in the region. We will be established in the markets I spoke about, at least Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, and Barbados. Um, will be a name that's recognized throughout the industry.